the page open if you want. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like to upload from Google Drive. And while it's doing that, I just want to say out loud again about how exciting it is for us that this is a flash-free experience for you guys. And it has also been specifically optimized for Chromebooks. So many of our schools are using Chromebooks these days and are using this Google system of organization already. And we have decided to just go along and make it as easy as possible for you guys to use your Google technology with Yearbook Avenue and LayoutPro. So I've chosen some pictures there. I didn't even look. I don't know how great they are, but we'll find out together. You can choose as many pictures as you want. I love Ryan's suggestion of mirroring your image library folders in your Google Drive so that they match and you kind of have your pictures both places. So I love that that's how we're going to do it, hopefully. Okay, so now we're done, and you can even see up here that it shows me that the category destination is football, varsity football. And here they are. Here are the pictures that I just uploaded. So I am going to just start dragging and dropping pictures onto the page. It's as easy as that. While I'm here, I'm going to show you that I can double click on this picture and kind of pop it around inside that picture box to get it cropped the way that I want. Okay. Also, as I hope that you're starting to look for, when I have the picture chosen, I'm getting all of these cool little options again. So let's walk through a couple. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. The first option is stroke. I can put an outline around this picture. Bigger the number, the thicker the outline. So you can see we've applied a stroke. Next, we have this cool magic wand, which is our format and effects. This is one that I can see would be a very handy one to tack onto the page and kind of keep open, because I think we're going to go to it quite a bit. But there's some really fun things that you can do in here. We can round the corners. You guys can see that that is happening in real time. You can also make this picture transparent if you want to be able to see through it. And you can also adjust the tint, which is basically just adding white if you want a watermark look for this photo. Okay. Underneath here, you can apply a drop shadow to the picture. And you can get really specific with how you want this drop shadow to look and from what degree you want it to come from. I'm going to pop it up a little darker so you can see. As I move it around, you can see that shadow's coming from different angles. So the point is just to show you that you can be as detailed as you want with these drop shadows. Okay? Also, when you have a photo open, you're going to have access to our Snap Edit. Snap Edit is where we're going to be able to make some minor photo editing choices. I can see this picture as black and white. I can see it as sepia. You can even adjust some of the brightness, contrast, and saturation levels to get this photo exactly where you want it. Okay? So what I want to do is just show you, let's say we decide we want to have this picture in black and white on our page. I'm going to choose Save. And what the program is going to do, it's going to save this black and white version alongside the original version in the image library and in that toolbar for us, so that you're never losing the original photo that you're starting with. So we'll give that a minute to percolate here. Ta-da! And then you can see, of course, that it has changed to black and white on my page. But also, over here on the left, you can see here's our original photo and here's our edited version. So I love that.
Rebecca, I love that it automatically switched it for me. That is so helpful.
I agree. I think that's really important. It's the small things sometimes, right, Ryan?
Absolutely.
All right. So we've been through pages, designs, images. Now we're going to go to art. So I'm going to give us a little room. This is where you're going to be able to add to the page. The first one here is image frames. This is where you're going to get your new image boxes, where you can size them and place them wherever you want on the page in all of these shapes. Speaking of shapes, this is where you're going to get your color blocks as well. I'm going to, I think I might want a little splash of purple behind this cool by the numbers thing. So I'm going to come here to color. I tell you what else I think is a little thing but is awesome is that it shows me the colors that have been used on the page so I can match my purples, which is important to me. And now I'm going to come to arrange and send that piece all the way to the back. So I have like a little mini background here, which I love. Speaking of backgrounds, because I know backgrounds are a big, big question, couple of different ways to do it. Inside our art tab are all of the backgrounds that we have designed for people to use. So, you know, I don't have an idea of what I want to use. Let's just use this first one. It looks very celebratory. So I've decided that that is the background that I want to use. So I just clicked and dragged it over to the page. If I want to make a change, I'm going to double click on the page and choose change background. When I do that, it gives me the option now to choose just a color that I want this background to be. And I chose that pretty mint color. I tell you what else I like about this. I can still see, even though I have my background on, I can still see my guidelines through the color here. So that I can have my background on. I want to go ahead and put it on, and I can still use the grid for alignments. Now, what if that grid is getting on my nerves and I want to really see a good preview of what this page is going to look like? I'm going to come down here in this little piece of menu. And the very bottom one is going to let me take the grid off. Grid on, grid off, so that I can get that good preview that I want. All right. I'm going to take this off for now. Oh, we'll leave it on. I think it's pretty. Okay. So that is what is in art. Moving right along to the text palette or the text tab. This is why it's important to go through the step like Ryan showed you of setting up some styles. Because anything that you set up with those styles at the beginning is what's going to be available here. So I know that Ryan set up sports headline for me, so I'm going to pull it here. And it is already, it's already the size and it's already the font that I want. I love this. I walk into yearbook staff's rooms all the time and I see the notes on the board for what point size and what font each of the headlines should be. Here, the program is going to encourage you to go ahead and have that stuff preloaded so that you're not having to format that every time. Now, while you're here, don't be worried that you've lost all your options. You can still make the changes if you want. And I can still adjust the size if I want. Okay?
Rebecca,
Yes.
it's awesome that every time you click on something, it's changing that toolbar.
You're totally right. Again, now that we're talking about text, we have all of these new text options, which is great. That's true. I love that the menus are intuitive like that. So while I'm popping along here, I can also change the color of this headline to my purple if I want. And create a little space here because I want to show you some cool things. I can underline. I can even decide that I want all of this to be in uppercase. Now, I will tell you guys, when I have been showing LayoutPro to my customers, this is the thing that they get the most excited about, is being able to choose uppercase without having to retype everything. I think that's exciting. And you can choose lowercase, and you can choose title case, which is going to grab every first letter of each word and pop it in uppercase. So I love having those options available. So let's drill down here and show you some more options concerning text. So I left off right here. Next is our alignment tools. Okay, so you will see that I'm going to be able to align to the center, align to the right. I can justify if I want. I can also align, let me clear some of this off so you can see it a little better. I can also align within the text box itself. So if I want this text to appear right in the middle of the text box that I've drawn, I'm able to do that. Maybe I want to pop it to the bottom. I'm able to do that too. We're giving you the most control you can possibly have over how that text is situated inside your text box. I'm really excited about this. The other piece I wanted, so that's alignment. Right next door to it is spacing, where I can squinch this text up closer together or give it even more breathing room if I want. You can adjust that line spacing right there. Awesome. All right. I'm looking at my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything super weird before we keep going. All right, let's forge ahead, shall we? Here we go. I want to talk a little bit about flow, because flow is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to clear off some space real quick. So I'm just going to come to Edit, Select All, and I'm going to hit the Delete button. We still got our background. That's okay. So the very next, the next option here is flow. This is fantastic because the way that this is going to work, it's kind of the first time that you're going to be able to adjust and tell it, here, I'm going to pin this and move it over here so you can see what I'm doing. These are, of course, for your portrait.